Hey everyone, it's Presley at ActOutGames.com here, and today I'm dressed up as Professor P to talk about Centripetal and Centrifugal Force. Here's a teaser. One of them does not exist. So a couple of weeks ago, me and my parents were at this amusement park and we had this ride. It was really fun, I really enjoyed it, but there were no seatbelts and somehow it was like pinning me against the wall. So I asked my dad, how does it work? And because we're homeschooled, whenever I ask a question like that, we do all sorts of crazy experiments and everything to learn how it works. Let me show you what I learned. So if you're going to talk about something moving, chances are you're going to end up talking about inertia. So let me give you a quick recap on what inertia is. Newton's first law talks about inertia, and chances are you've probably heard it a lot. An object at rest tends to stay at rest, and an object at motion tends to stay in motion. So let's use this ball here to demonstrate. It is right now staying still, completely still. Newton's law says this will stay still until something acts on it. It just won't randomly start moving at any point in time. This is the object at rest, staying in rest, and I need some kind of a force to make it start moving. This force could be me pushing it, or it could be gravity pulling it down, the wind blowing it, or any other force that acts on it to make it start moving. The second part of the law is something that's moving will stay moving until something stops it. That force that stops it could be my dad's foot. It could be me, or it could be hitting a wall or the ground, or if you roll it over in the grass, it could just be friction, which makes it stop moving. A really important part of the law, which you don't normally hear, is an object at motion will keep moving in a straight line until something acts on it. So the force that acts on it doesn't have to stop it, it could just make it change directions. So I didn't stop it, but I changed its direction, but it's still an outside force, it just changed its direction. So if the ball is moving and I keep changing its direction, I can make it go all the way around in a circle. What I just did is making it keep rolling around in a full circle is called centripetal force. I was applying force towards the center of the curve, so I was making it just keep curving like around in a circle. So the ball kept wanting to go straight, but I kept curving it, making it go around in a circle. So what I'm doing is called centripetal force, and centripetal force is basically making something turn. Let's go look at some other really cool experiments that show how centripetal force works. So a really simple example of centripetal force is a ball on a string where you can spin it around and stuff. And you can probably do this really easy, probably easier than most of the experiments I have. This is the easiest one. Shut up, bird. And it's really, shut up. And unlike the ball that I was pushing around, this time I'm pulling to make centripetal force, where it's trying to fly out and fly away and everything, but I'm pulling on it with the string. So it doesn't matter if centripetal force is pulling or pushing, they both work, and it's both centripetal force. Centripetal force is pulling towards the inside of the center, and here it looks like something is pulling the ball out of the center and away from it. It looks like it wants to fly away, and that is called centrifugal force, which doesn't actually exist. If you remember when we talked about inertia, then you'll know that the ball wants to go in a straight line, but the string is applying centripetal force to the ball, so it's making it turn. So if I let go of that centripetal force, then it'll fly in a straight line, not away from the center, but in a straight line. So this shows that there's no such thing as centrifugal force. Let's watch that again in slow motion. You see when I open my hand here, if centrifugal force was a real thing, it would fly that way away from the center, but since inertia is really what acts on it, it goes up, since it's trying to keep going in a straight line. Here's another example on how centrifugal force doesn't exist is I'm going to get this ball spinning in the hoop. And if centrifugal force existed, then it would just repel straight away from the center. But since it's just inertia acting on the ball, it'll just go in a straight line. I'm not talking about roller coasters. Me and my friends in a group class made a little roller coaster with a loop on it. So I'm pretty sure most of you have gone on a roller coaster with a loop on it. And you may think that it's a seatbelt that's holding you into the loop. But it's actually not. It's centripetal force from the track that's holding you in the loop instead of a seatbelt. So as you can see, that marble did not have a seatbelt since it went flying off the coaster, and it still went in the loop just fine. So a lot of people will think that it's a seatbelt holding you in, but that is just a myth. It's actually centripetal force holding you in the loop. And that's what held me in the roller coaster thing that I rode a couple days ago. Here's another one of my favorite demonstrations of centripetal force. All you need is a balloon. I like clear because you can see what's going on, and a penny. And you put the penny in the balloon, and you blow it up. Put the penny in the balloon. Is it in the balloon? Good. Yay! Okay, so the penny is in the balloon, and watch what happens. Right. So here I'm shaking the penny around and spinning around the balloon with the balloon edges are applying the centripetal force, causing it to spin around until gravity pulls it back down at the bottom. Now let's see what happens when I put a hex nut in the balloon. That's all I'm thinking about is Scooby-Doo. Hex Girls. That's a freaking band on Scooby-Doo. That was in one episode. That was my favorite. Alright, so now the hex nut's in the balloon, so let's see what happens when I spin it this time. Can you guys try and explain why it makes this noise? Oh! Oh God! Please keep the screaming in the vlog. Put a comment in the vlog if you know why it makes that sound. This last example is when my dad was in college. He worked in a bar, so he would win bar bets by using centripetal force and inertia. So the bet was to put an olive in a glass without touching the olive, but we currently do not have an olive, so we're going to use one of my marbles. So we did a lot of different experiments proving the same thing. They're all really fun, and we did a lot of them, so maybe one of you guys have the supplies to do one of them, and you can try them out yourself at home. They're really fun to do and awesome, and I'm pretty sure all of you guys could do at least one of these because these are pretty normal household things that you'd have. If you do one, shoot a video of it and post a link in the comments, because there's no more video responses. The important things to remember are inertia, centripetal force, there's no such thing as centrifugal force, and things try to go in a straight line. So if you remember all those, you can remember how centripetal force works, and you might feel a little safer when you're riding a roller coaster or some sort of ride with loops. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!